Welcome to episode 11 of Coffee with the Cassells, here with Stephen and Natalie Cassells. Woofed!
Is that serious?
Yeah, it's all good. We're on. We're rolling.
Is it?
Yeah. What did you think? That was a good intro, though, isn't it?
It's the best, isn't it?
Thanks so much, everybody, for following along if you got to this
fucking
episode.
terrifying, to be fair. It looked very intimidating, didn't it?
Right, do you know what, right?
Hello and welcome to the Coffee with the Cassells. This is Stephen and Natalie Cassells.
Well, that'll get you following along, won't it? That'll get you
Fucking sitting up and listening there.
subscribing. Subscribe, like, share, invite your pals.
And if you listen to this when you're running, you've probably just ran faster. I mean, this crackpot. You just hit a PB, well done.
We're just getting started. There's so much to talk about today.
There is.
So much. First things first.
I think I've just organised the
Retreat.
retreat. It looks like we're all going to Ibiza.
I'd love it, honestly.
do.
Buzzing. We just need to get childcare
It's had a
now.
bit of Venga Boys on there. So yeah, this is all stemmed from, again, we couldn't get any Hyrox tickets. So
Oh my God, right? It's done.
it's
We're
called
not talking-
Home HQ in Hyrox. I'm just ticking the boxes here.
We're now just-
Hyrox
we're
is done.
We're using Hyrox as clickbait these days.
like most gyms. There you go. There you go.
So now that you've clicked on, thinking this is all about Hyrox, it's not.
It's not. It's about Ibiza Marathon. If you want to come, it's 18th of April. Get yourself signed up. We'll book the villa.
I know, we'll
Let's
book
go.
the villa. Let's go. We're
Yeah.
going to Ibiza. Doodle-oo-loo-loo.
With probably 3 wins.
Mum, please.
And it's cheaper.
It's so much cheaper.
2 tickets, £140. Done.
Done.
Might even do it twice.
No,
Just because it's cheaper. Done.
that's our party money.
So that's ticked that off. So,
Oh, that'd be.
so now we've only got HQ and Home to talk about. This is a good episode.
I know. Here we are. Well, we've got a lot to talk about with HQ. There's a lot going on, and we just wanted to use this week's episode to kind of talk about it because it's going to come out first week in July when we've just launched our new
Set
setup here at Cassells Fitness, which is the client ascent. Really exciting stuff. We've been doing it for a while. It's not like this is the thing. Like, our clients ascend all the time. Like that, we talked about this in one of the very first episodes. The clients come in here, they start for fat loss, or they start for like this initial goal. They've got really limiting beliefs. They've got low self-esteem, low confidence. They don't know how to fit in health and well-being into their lifestyle because they've got a career, they've got kids, they've got responsibilities, they've lost their way a little bit. So they're here and we help them get to a place where they find a home for health and fitness.
Yep.
And then they go through this journey of booking marathons to Ibiza, booking Hyroxes, booking the gauntlet, booking 10Ks, 5Ks, meeting up with people from the gym and doing social things together. Like, that is the client ascent. That is what happens to them. But we actually have never, ever talked about it like that when we're bringing people into the team.
Yeah.
So this is what this is.
Actually, a lot of people just think we do classes.
Yeah.
If you look at our social media, like obviously our social media has now changed. We're changing it
Yeah.
to showcase actually what actually happens. Like when you step foot in that door for the first time, what happens, who we all are, where we move things, where we move you in terms of like, you might come here just for one thing, but actually, I mean, how many people do we have actually like got a promotion, had the confidence to get a promotion, get a new job, start a new career, like.
Some people have quit their jobs
Yeah,
entirely and changed career, changed trajectory. And it all matters because of the environment that you put yourself in and the people you surround yourself with. It's so important. And what we do is we've created this environment that helps people to realise their full potential.
Yeah.
And we're now just, it's taken us 2 years to refine the product in terms of the business, the environment, the equipment, the team, even just how we put ourselves on social media, like building that momentum. But now it's time. Yeah. And on that note, Callan is like excited. He's excited to tell everyone about
it.
it.
He's just currently hammering the kitchen. in the playpen.
In the fitness.
In the fitness,
Right.
so he's having a great time. But yeah, it's just that's where we're kind of taking things into it, and it's also we're wanting to really like, we're obviously a coaching service, and one of the things that we found was when we looked at the data and stuff like that, there was only like a small percentage of our current client base that were actually utilising the full coaching service, and for us that's what we started for. That's our bread and butter, and we like to see people making the changes, making the shifts, and it's not to say that it's all about like before and after pictures and stuff like that, because that's not what it's all about. Like, yes, that's a big part of it, but what we actually thrive on and get the benefit from is the coaching that leads to that confidence shift of, fuck it, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this event I've never done before. I'm going to challenge myself and achieve something great. And we want to be a part of that. We don't want it to be just come here, you do the training and that's what leads into you doing something. We want to be a massive part of that journey and help you to do that, to reach that new height in terms of, you know, an event you've never done or maybe have done, you want to kind of take it further and improve it and be that top percent, or whether that be something like you want to come in here and show up better for your family, show up better for your partner, or whether it be, you know, you want that confidence, you want something that is going to drive your focus and attention on doing something for you to better your confidence to then, you know, potentially do, like, have that confidence of going, you know what, fuck it, I'm ready for a promotion, I'm going to push for that.
Or I'm going to quit my job and do something that I love. Because
I'm not, essentially, like, what we want is you no longer to be in the shadows, do you know what I mean, of any aspect of your life. You want to
take control
and stand up and be counted for. Like, you're not just a number, you're there, you're to showcase yourself, and I think it is such an exciting time. Like, even for us coaches and stuff like that, I think the whole movement of it is, as well, is so exciting because we see like endless possibilities for and opportunities for what this could lead to in terms of not even just this like gym, but everybody involved in it, like the coaches, the clients, their families. Like, there's so much growth that is going to come from this, like this switch up.
Yeah.
And it's daft because it was there right in front of us for
it's
a long,
always
long
been
time.
there.
Like,
It's naturally, organically, always been a part of our DNA at Cassells Fitness. It's just that we just need to showcase that more.
We just had to fine tune like a couple of things, and like a couple of wee light bulb moments just tenfolds into it. Yeah. And I think even discussing some of the things with clients, obviously some clients have had like questions about it and stuff like that. Some people have been like, they're already excited about it and buzzing about it. Like, they're like, this is going to massively get me where I need to be. Like, I think the way we looked at things in terms of the check-in process we've done, and that aspect of it is, yes, it's been good, it's delivered a lot of results, a lot of positive change in people's lives and stuff, but it almost gets to a point where it just becomes almost like an accountability factor rather than anything else. It's just like ticking boxes weekly, whereas this just broadens that horizon of like actual coaching. And
to be fair, we coach our clients, but we coach them all so individually in the weekly check-ins that we actually repeat ourselves. So if you look at our time across the week, like, I could speak to 20 clients on a Monday, and I could probably guarantee that 80% of my messages to those clients are along the same lines of like, eat more protein, or let's have a look at your routine. You know, and I can't prescribe your routine because your routine is so unique to you. Yeah. But I am encouraging.
Changes, you know what I mean?
And it changes from even Monday to Friday to what your Saturday and Sunday looks like. You've got a weekly routine and then you've got a weekend routine, and they both look very different. But actually, like, I probably mention that to 50% of my clients every week. Yeah. And so I think that's the thing across the board. If you then take that across 5 coaches, having the same conversations with people one-to-one is great. But actually taking it and sending it to the full team to say, there might be somebody else who's struggling with that one thing. I see you. There might be somebody who's struggling with that one thing who haven't really quite got to that point, or maybe considering it. And so when you share it to the full team and everybody gets insights into that education or that like tip or that knowledge, you not only realise that you're not the only person getting that feedback, that or a lot of people are in the same boat. Yep. And secondly, it might be something you've not thought about because you've maybe been focusing on something else for a wee bit. Mm-hmm. And that's what's driven the conversation down a different way. But actually, I could use that tip about routine as well, and I could easily embed that into my daily life. So it just gives everyone access to the same information so that they can pick and choose as and when they need it. And also as a coach, we can then diversify, use our time more specifically on the people that really need it. So the red clients and the amber clients, and they choose whether they're red or amber themselves. We don't put them into that bracket. And then we can really support them to come out of that place and to bring them into a place where they can self-coach themselves when they're not doing a check-in, and they can also feel like they're moving from red to amber to green again. And we can
I think the best thing about the system as well, and the one that we're kind of moving to, or we have moved to now, is obviously you're going through the process as well with your coach as well. And I think the biggest thing is it gets you to ask better questions of yourself. Like if you look at the previous check-in system we had, it's just like boxes where you just fill in information, but there's no learning as such from that. Do you know what I mean? It does just become like you'll learn a certain point. You know what I mean? You will gain feedback and stuff like that, but once you've done that for so often, there's only so much, do you know what I mean, like movement there. But it just gets you reflecting a little bit better on your week, and then like you'll probably find yourself going, that makes total sense. And the more you can do that and the more you can reflect on it, and then we give the teachings, etc., the more you actually start to gain more education on it, so that you do start to you can kind of mirror that week almost, like, you know what I mean? Like if that happened again, you go, remember that time this happened before this event was coming up and stuff like that, and this is how I managed it. So it's like the more that kind of education flows in, and then it just embeds into this lifestyle approach, do you know what I mean? It just becomes the everyday norm. Like,
and that's the thing, and this is the way that it's going to be set up. So we've got the first membership, which is Access. And what Access is all about is it's about foundations. It's about habits. It's about turning up to training. It's about being surrounded by the community and being uplifted, and put yourself around high performing people, and put yourself around an environment that is about helping you get the best out of you. And what's really good about that is that it's a smaller group. So you come in, you get a chance to kind of have a dialogue in a smaller environment, because the community, the main chat is overwhelming. There's a lot going on in there. And if you're new, it can be quite daunting to come in.
The main group, to be fair, is normally just everybody taking the piss out of each other.
Sending memes.
Taking the piss out of each other.
Sending memes or take the piss out of Dean.
Just ripping at each other and just proper banner.
But that's what it's there for. But if you've not been there for a long time, getting involved in that can be really daunting. And if you've got a question about, meals, or if you've got a question about, going out for a walk with someone that you've never met before, sending it in that chat would be very overwhelming. So you do have this kind of specialised group, smaller group, a coach is in there all the time, going to set some small challenges, things like turning up, here's a little, bit of information that I've learned.
I've spoken to Claire as well, and it's some of the challenges she's talking about. It's not just about turning up. There's a good couple in there.
I know, but good. And she's our new coach, and she's like fresh out, and she's full of ideas, and she's so excited about taking people through the journey, because she's been through the journey herself.
Yeah, exactly.
So through Cassells' journey, not just any, like Cassells, and so she can speak the language, and she can tell people and show people how it feels. So I think that's what Access is going to be so good, and it's not being about overloaded with all the extra things. It's just about turning up, coming in, and being a part of it all. Then, once you've been with us in Access for a little bit of time, whenever you feel the time is right, whenever you maybe talk to Claire or the coaches in the gym or other members, then you're going to ascend, and you're going to move into lifestyle. And Dean's heading up lifestyle. And I think that in lifestyle, right, okay, let's start to dial in a little bit more specifically. Let's start checking in. Let's start using all the extra tools that we have to offer you to then get you to that ultimate goal, of either fat loss or building confidence and gaining confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah, just come to different questions and stuff, doesn't it?
Getting back to fitness because you maybe didn't do it before, or you did it before, then you've had your family and your kids and you focus on your career, and now you're like, I want a little bit of that back into my life again.
So also just obviously with tips as well on like how to actually embed it into your lifestyle. I think sometimes it's like, that's one thing that people often get wrong, where they try and go all in. Like, I'm bad for it. Like, you go all in one aspect and then you end up missing out on this bit. And it's like that, try to find that balance, whereas I think lifestyle kind of just starts to combine that all together.
Yeah.
And it makes it more streamlined and part of your everyday, rather than it being like, I either do this or I do this, and I can't balance, I can't juggle too many plates. It's actually like, well, let's actually take you where you're at and let's actually make this into your lifestyle, and it just becomes the everyday kind of norm.
Yeah, and do you want to talk a little bit about what Dean will do with the clients and lifestyle?
Yeah, so Dean's just obviously, the way Dean will work it is, you fill out a type form. Again, it'll be reflective on, what is it?
He's on the roller.
It'll be reflective on your week, essentially how your week's went. You'll answer a list of questions, and then from that, Dean will take the findings of that, and then he'll basically do, the way we're going to start to coach it is, there'll be one live call per week, per month. So one live call where you've got the opportunity to jump on, and you can have back and forwards with the coach, etc. Ask any further questions or anything like that based off of the information they're given, the education they're given, and then 3 teachings where it'll be like tips, advice based on like what we were finding,
The reoccurring
themes that are coming in. Where the beauty of that is, it might be something that one you've potentially never thought about before, but it's actually like solid advice. You go, do you know what, that's actually really helpful. I didn't know how to ask that question, or it's something I've never thought about before, and now I've got the answer to it. Another way I kind of looked at it was, you could potentially miss a week. So for example, you've been on holiday, or you can potentially miss like a check-in for whatever reason. You're still getting great feedback and advice to how to kind of like manage different aspects and different situations and stuff like that we can go back to. So he'll start to deliver on that, and then we're also doing vision calls or meetups. So that'll be dependent on the person's preference. So it'll either be a one-to-one vision call, which would be hosted on like Zoom, where you talk directly to that coach and you talk about
the last 90 days.
The last 90 days, how you feel things have went, and then set a strategy for the next 90 days, like what your visions are, what your intentions are, what your wishes are, where you want to be, the person you kind of want to inspire to be and stuff like that. We're going to be sitting at after that 90 days once you get challenged a little bit, and you get like a set task as such. That again we'll either be doing through Zoom, or if people prefer to come in here and have a chat, coffee and stuff like that. So yeah,
20 to 30 minutes every 90 days. Just come in, have a catch up with a coach, plan your next 90 days. It's important to consider as well, like we've got weddings, events, summer holidays. Like this is about being a 365-day athlete, or someone that's like, you know, prepared to be able to take on a marathon in 6 months' time. Prepared to, you know, also prepared to take on a 2-week holiday.
Ready for anything that life throws at you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's you've got the answers to it all. Like there's never a time where you're going to be left questioning. I think that's the biggest thing, is like you're never going to be left questioning. There's always going to be a strategy for you in place, and that's the beauty of the group side of it as well. The group delivery, like from the information we gather, there might be someone who is on holiday or going to a wedding and stuff like that, and it's like we might be giving them information that then you go, that's sound advice, because see in 3 months I've got a wedding or I've got a holiday I need to go on, and that's actually like, that's already got me over prepared. Do you know what I mean?
Thinking about it,
to think about this and like to plan for that to come in. So
I think the only other thing to kind of mention on that is like you've got the weekly check-in, which is, you can complete that every week if you're someone who needs to go back to that almost point where you need the weekly check-in.
The current spreadsheet,
No, I mean the form.
Oh, the sprint, the weekly sprint.
Weekly sprint. So you've got the weekly sprint call, and then on the first of every month, or the first week of every month, instead of doing the weekly sprint, you do a monthly form. So the form's slightly different, where you will plan your next 30 days. So you could just do that one once a month.
You reflect and plan.
And so all you do at that point is you go, right, in the next 30 days, I have this coming up, but I've already considered it because I did it in my 90-day call and I planned for that. Or, you know, over the last month, I've really been struggling with my routine at night. After 8 o'clock, I seem to still be getting back into that habit that I was doing before. So over the next 30 days, I'm really going to focus on that. Or I know that work's going to be super stressful. Something like if you're a teacher, an exam, you've got exam prep or prelims in January, for example. It might be a case of, I know that I've got prelims coming up in January and I know it's a lot of work. So that's what I'm going to do this month, is really focus on that. And then finally, it could be something like, I've got my hen do, I've got, I'm giving birth, all these other things. So it could be anything that life is throwing at you, and you can plan that on the first week. And the brilliant thing about it is that you'll be automatically told, right, it's the monthly check-in this week. So let's have a consider of what you're going to do. And it's not just a tick box exercise. You have to go into it really considering. And that's the type of people that this program is right for. Is someone who is going to take it not seriously. At first, you need to take it seriously.
Yeah, it's almost like, taking ownership of it.
Taking ownership and actually going, I need to just spend 15 minutes thinking about this.
From our point of view as well, that's why we're kind of embedding it into our program as well, because we've noticed a massive difference when we do tasks like this. Like, if we do tasks like this for the business, that's where our biggest ideas come from. That's where the biggest moving factors come from. We're so tunnel vision on that makes sense. We're so clear on what we need to do now. You get so much clarity on that. And it's the same with you with your coaching. I've never seen you being as clear as what you are now in terms of what you're doing for yourself, because you're getting coached. They're asking the right questions, you're asking the right questions. I think it's definitely a game changer in terms of what we're going to start to deliver here.
Yeah, and I've brought up, so that's lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then when you get to a point in lifestyle where you've been checking in consistently. Now your check-ins are maybe moving to monthly because you feel like, okay, I don't need to check in every week. I don't need to reflect every week. I feel like I've really got a hang on my habits, and I've really started to focus on the areas that really work for me, and actually just focusing on that for 30 days is perfect for me, and then I'll do the monthly check-in. So when you start to feel like you're moving to that place, you've achieved your goal, and then you're going, right, okay, I want to do a high rocks, or I want to do a hybrid games, or I want to do the marathon, etc. And so your check-ins are going to change. They're not going to be about scales, or they're not going to be about body fat percentage, and it's going to be about, how do I maximize and fuel myself, and how do I maximize my training around my career, around my kids, around my private life, around everything that I've got going on. But I actually really want to do well in this event. So then you ascend again and you move into perform, because that's the place where you're going to then, the coaching needs to change when you're in perform, because it needs to be focused on, how am I fueling for performance? How am I training for performance? Am I turning up to training sessions with intent? Or am I turning up because I'm there to see my pals and I'm there to have a good time? Because you can do either or here. That works, and in the same session you can see.
I think that's the thing in it. It's important that was one of the things I spoke about to a client, is it's not in terms of the value of coaching remains. You'll still get the same value and same level of coaching. The only thing that's different in a way is the style that we need to talk to you about it. Do you know what I mean? The approach we have to take with you. It's not to say that you're going to, if you're in this group and you're in this group, you're missing out because you're not in this group, or you're missing out because you're in this group. It's actually just the style of the word that we maybe have to use, or the things that we need to, maybe you need to look at a little bit more, in terms of recovery, in terms of sleep and stuff like that. Yes, everybody has to do that. Everybody should be doing, taking some ownership on that as well, recovery, sleep, nutrition and stuff like that. But it might be a wee bit more in depth, as in in terms of actual macro breakdown. If you're a lifestyle client, biggest majority of the time, all you need to really focus on is calories and protein. When you become perform, and you're looking at trying to be that top 1% or whatever in your field and stuff, and progress that way, it does start to whittle down to water intake, carbohydrate intake, when you take it, meal timing, recovery. Do you know what I mean? These things,
stress management.
Even some sports require you to be a set weight. If you go any higher than that, then you end up losing aerodynamics, or you end up you're too heavy for a certain endurance. For example, if I take high rocks on board, for example, your running could be affected because you are heavier, or if you go too light, then your power output is actually lower. So that's where it kind of shifts slightly, where it's not so much the value of coaching is different. It's just the style of approach and the way we need to coach you and the way we need to word things might be a little bit different.
Exactly, and that's the thing, is that if you're a lifestyle client and you're getting talked to about meal timing, or sleep, if someone had to say to me, you really need to fix
That's
your
the
sleep.
biggest thing that fucking drives me.
I'm like, I've got kids.
I am trying to be like elite level, and I fucking hate, like, it's a fucking pain in me, right? See when you talk to a coach and they go, you need more sleep.
I know.
Especially when it's not get rains. I'm like,
that's the place I'm at the moment. With the business, I'm putting a lot of time in through the night because the kids are sleeping and there's no distractions on my phone, and I do concentrate way better through the night. That's massively impacting my sleep. See, if I was in Perform, like, I would need to concentrate and focus on that to fix it. And that's not to say that, you can't be in Perform and then go, do you know what, I've got kids and but it's just that language needs to be, right, I'm coming into that environment, I need to understand that, yes, okay, that's a focus, but I can't control that one and I'm okay. But
well, it's also like, it's then you need to look at, like, what can you control?
Exactly.
So if it's something to do with sleep, like, yes, you're not always guaranteed, like, in fact, do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, even if you've not got a kid, like, sometimes you might know
your cycle impacts.
Exactly, or you're restless or whatever, do you know what I mean? So
Stress.
things can do that. It's more about, like, how you can kind of try and control that. But yeah, I think it's just, as I said, it's the way we might need to approach things with you. So where, if I take for example Matt, who's doing obviously cycling event and stuff like that, like, where his different is, like, he has to be a set weight, like, and we might have to do cuts and stuff like that for that thing. Where, if you look at Matt in comparison to, Kirsty, for example, Kirsty, it's a completely different end of the spectrum, where Kirsty's, like, maybe won't just fit into a certain dress that she likes, or, like, do you know what I mean, wants to, like, be fit and healthy for holiday, or just be fit and healthy in general for a family and stuff like that, and our whole well-being, and does it more like a social aspect, rather than Matt, who has to hit set targets, has to focus on meal timing, has to focus on, like, everybody has to focus on nutrition, like, you know what I mean? That's the point I'm getting at. It's just how in depth that has to be.
It's the lens that you look at it from. One lens is lifestyle, and I just want to perform good for my family. I want to feel good inside and out.
Having it both sides, like, I've done both, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes it can be massively overwhelming when you have to think about your carbohydrate intake, your meal timing intake. Do you know what I mean? How often you drink water? Like, for the talking sake, that time you went through it and it was like, how much water am I losing in a session? Like, for somebody doing lifestyle, you don't fucking need to know that. Like, that's like mind-boggling. That's like overreaching. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like too much. You know what I mean? That's like, so again, it's not about maybe, like, kind of the value of coaching being different. It's just how we need to approach it.
And also, you want to be surrounded by people who are also going through that as well. Like,
because they can resonate.
They can resonate, and also they can also be like, listen, like, some people, I would not even dream of saying to some people in here, like, when they first start, about meal timing, or, about...
Yeah, because it's mad.
Like, even just focusing on carbs, because I know carbs is such a taboo subject, especially for people who went through that boom of, like, what was that diet where you cut all the carbs out? Low carb, a keto diet. Like, people have gone through that time, or even like Slimming World and Weight Watchers and all that, when it's like, don't eat any carbs, or, sins and all that. Like, that language and that, all of that needs to be considered when you're coaching people through whatever journey they're on, and lifestyle is the perfect environment for that.
Yeah.
When you get to Perform, you do need to talk about carbs, you need to talk about manipulation, and that's the thing, that's why these groups are suitable. And this is the thing as well, the whole purpose of that is that people move in and out of these different spaces as and when they focus on these areas. So that was what was really big for us. And then we've got an elite group that'll be exclusive, it'll be really limited, it'll be a small number amount of people, and they'll only be working with you. And it'll be clients, like, to be frank, it'll be people who really excite you. And because as a coach, all you want to do is work with people that are going to excite you, that's going to put the work in, that are...
So like, it'd be a bit more extreme, do you know what I mean? In terms of, like,
intensity
Intensity stuff like that,
changes, like focus changes. It's going to be really, really specific. The person or the people in that group will also do the group training, but they'll be investing in something.
It also just requires a lot more like sacrifice if you look at that way as well. So it's like it's not for everyone in that sense, and it is like more extreme nature that it's like it requires more sacrifice and stuff like that. If I look at my journey and what I'm doing and stuff like that, like it's not for every day, and that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And
it's
that's
for some people and it won't be for everyone, but
so that's the next kind of addition to the pathway, which is amazing. And then the last kind of thing to note is that we've got a lot of clients that are maybe have got like 16 plus sessions a month, but they're very well suited in lifestyle. And that's the thing, is that clients, when they first join us, they'll probably come into access lifestyle, or if they're really clear on what they want to do, they'll go straight into perform. But over time, you can increase their number of sessions, but stay within lifestyle or perform.
We've kind of tried to, for current clients just now anyway, we've kind of tried to work it, well, I have anyway, I sat through the list, and basically I tried to marry people up with where I think you would get the most benefit and most value from. Because in my opinion, it's pointless me putting you into a group that I don't think is right for you, because either one, it's going to be too overwhelming or too underwhelming, or you're not going to get the right information.
And that's the thing, we know our clients, we know them.
I've worked with some people for like known them every day for the last 2 years, so I know where you're at, where you want to be, and how your life is. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing, like.
So yeah, I think that was a great exercise to do. It's nice to see that full list kind of go through each person, and we do that as coaches all the time anyway. We talk about clients consistently, and then anyone who flags himself up as red or amber, we'll maybe just give a little bit of like what's going on, you know, and give that time. That's really important.
TLC.
So what I've done is I've pulled up in the background. So we obviously trialed the first weekly sprint check-in. And I've pulled up some of the like main themes that came up. So if you're somebody who is listening to this, or if you're a current client, maybe you're interested in coming along and seeing what the common themes were. Like some of the common themes that came up just in our trial. So nutrition and structure. So a lot of people were talking about inconsistency in nutrition. They were struggling with planning their meals, or they were stress-driven eating. So those 3 things already is enough for maybe someone that's listening to go, geez, I really resonate with that. It's
pretty big as majority of people have the same things,
and it was quite consistent across the board with the 50 plus people that filled in that form. So obviously, as a result of that, what we would want to be talking about is like some sort of routine-based exercise that you can do, and also something about habit stacking or tracking your habits and adapting that, which we are looking at bringing in a new habit tracking app in place of one of our existing processes that kind of ties everything together. So that would be really good. It'll be in one-stop shop. Yeah, I love that.
That was my idea.
We're not doing that.
We'll come to that.
And the second point that kind of came up consistently was routine and motivation. We've obviously talked about motivation a lot. It's the thing that gets everyone started. And there is actually, I listened to a podcast the other day, which I'm going to share with the team. I'll tag it in the notes. But it was about, and I can't even remember who it was with, but it was about
probably me.
How you can actually improve your motivation just by changing a couple of steps in your morning routine. And it's all about your hormones, oxytocin, serotonin, there was 2 others. Oh, I can't remember the 2.
Should I add it to the notes?
I'll add it to the notes. But anyway, it was about your hormones and how you can do things in your routine to change how your hormones react to your day today. So it was really good. But it was just things on like difficulty getting started, which so many people come to us and they're like, I don't think I'm fit enough to start. Or they say, I got a message the other day, I've been meaning to message for ages and I've only just got around to doing it. And I sent her a voice note and I was like, well done for sending the message, because that's the hardest bit. Now that you've sent the message, I can now follow up with you and make sure that we get you in. So she's doing her trial session tomorrow, I think. Anyway.
Which means welcome to the family, because you'll be
welcome to the team, because she'll be joining. So things like discipline versus motivation, and this is a big thing as well. Like, okay, we can take the softly approach, which we do with a lot of clients. You know, all in, all out method. Well, you don't.
Who does?
I do, right? And that's another thing we'll come on
One of the
to.
things that Natalie actually said to me was, I made a comment the other day on the video saying, that's a you problem.
And I wouldn't have said it like that, and I want to talk about that at the
I
end.
don't really know who's taking the saucy approach,
But
they'll be getting a few flies back.
Nah, I'll just leave it out, right? I'll see you later.
It was fucking certainly not me.
No, but what I mean by that is like some people do like need a different approach in terms of like the extreme nature stuff is not healthy for them. Like it's not healthy. It's verging on like eating disorders or disordered eating.
Yep.
And so we need to consider that when we talk about that. But also like you've got to take ownership for your own journey, and we can only do so much. Like we can give loads of tools, we can give loads of tips, we can suggest websites and places to look at for meal planning, we can suggest different recipes. People do that all the time.
You can only change if you want to change.
You can only do it if you take ownership, and sometimes people need that to be like, fuck up, take responsibility for your choices, whether you did it or you didn't do it. That's it, right?
Softly. Fuck you.
I do want to talk about that. And then the last thing was about self-coaching and development plans. So like, mindset and resilience. So people were talking about like stress or the all or nothing thinking or feeling really overwhelmed with day-to-day life. So obviously with a couple of people we talk about reframing techniques, like how to look at it from a different perspective, or how to coach yourself through a certain situation, which is going to be a biggie, especially with one of the questions in the check-in, which is talking about what was one scenario that came up this week or this month, and what was that you struggled with, and what was your response to that. So the purpose of that question is obviously like if you had an argument with your partner and then the first thing you did was hit the cupboard, and went for the sweeties and the crisps. If that's something that came up and you really struggled with that.
I thought you meant hit the cupboards and punch it, because that thought went through my mind.
And you were washing the dishes. That was the last podcast, by the way, so if you haven't listened to it. But, how can you take a different approach and maybe go out for a walk and go into nature or go to your gym session or do something different, but you need to be in a position to recognise that habit or recognise that situation, because I'm not there day to day. I don't know, you don't know, so you need to be in a position, and that's what that question is prompting you to do, is right, think back to that situation and then go, what could I have done differently next time? Because I'm going to argue with my partner, I'm going to get pissed off with the kids, or I'm going to get annoyed with my colleague that's messaged me when I'm not working, and asked me to jump on a quick call. That's going to happen, but how do I deal with that next time? So I think that's just out of the trial. That was 1 week that we sent that out. 50 clients filled it in as a trial to see how the question flow felt, how it felt for them, how it felt for us to take the data, and look at how much stuff we've got out of it already.
Exactly.
So I'm buzzing with that, and I think there's so many things that we could do. So we're obviously looking at like a new system that's going to allow us to have all of that kind of habit tracker, macros, training, the gym training program, all of that in one place.
Yep.
Because at the moment it's across multiple different things. And then also some automations to remind them to do it.
Yeah, prompts.
Yeah.
Always good.
So that's exciting. I'm excited about that.
Yep. Can't.
Hiya! You standing under the camera, he looks like a cameraman.
Can't recording.
So what was the other thing we were going to talk about there?
What
What did I just say to you there? We'll just park that and we'll talk about it after. Oh, what you said to the clients, and if I delivered it, how people would receive it.
Oh yeah.
Now you always say to me, right, this is all about the feminism movement.
Like the powers that be.
Okay, and I'm all for it, but if I had said what you said in that video, it would not have gone down the same way. And
Right.
let's be serious.
Just to be clear, right, because there might be people on this that don't, you know what I mean? I haven't seen that video and stuff like that. I wasn't like a pure arsehole, right?
No, you weren't an arsehole.
I was just, what's that word?
Straight to the point.
Aye.
Yeah.
Like, I was straight to the point. So basically I just said that if anybody, what was it? If everybody...
It's a you problem.
Yeah, which I stand by. Like, if people think that us putting current clients into certain groups and stuff like that was like a favouritism thing, or they didn't like it, or they thought that something that was like a tiered system and stuff like that, I was like, well, that's a you problem, because that's not even in my thinking.
Yeah.
It's a you problem.
Yeah,
and
because
you
our thinking all the time, our intention all the time is to
what's for
make it
best for your
better.
clients, yeah.
And to always, like, you know, you think as a client, right, okay, you know your situation and you know what you know and you know what you like. When change comes along, it's really hard to think, how is that going to impact me? How is that going to impact what I signed up for? How is that going to impact or change what I know?
Yeah,
But-
so it was,
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a video because there was wee kind of obviously Chinese whispers, which you're always going to get when it comes to change and stuff like that. So the thing that I said that probably stood out first of all was, let's get one thing fucking clear.
So if I started the
And
video...
I don't think that's that bad, right? Maybe it's just with my upbringing and stuff like that. I don't think that's that bad. I think that's like, all right, okay,
And people really take to
I'm
it.
going to sit up and listen. Like, this guy's got a point. And another thing I said was, that sounds like your problem. So I think my approach is fun but fair.
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, like,
yeah, if you say that,
if I've said it doesn't go down the same way.
No.
And massively, and I was saying this to you the other night, like, as a female, like, throughout your whole life, maybe it's different now as a teenager or as a girl, you know, growing up, but as a female, like, you have been conditioned in a way to consider what you're saying, because most of the time you want to be a people pleaser, and that's what I am. I'm totally a people pleaser. I just don't want to upset anybody. I want everybody to, like, from my perspective, I'm like, I need to explain to you why I'm doing this, because I'm not doing it because I want to piss anybody off. I'm doing it because I genuinely want to help and I genuinely care, and this is what I know. I don't know anything else. This is what I know. And so when I deliver something, like, because when I read it and you said Natalie wouldn't have delivered this in that way, no, I wouldn't have, because I would be so worried about annoying people.
Sometimes I do things just to watch you curl your clothes a little bit. Because I know I can see something, right, and I'm happy with it. I don't give a fuck, right? I don't care. If you like me, you don't like me, don't care. Right? I call shit a shit, and that's the way I've always been.
Oh, and I wish I was like that.
You can tell in my list of friends that I'm a people pleaser too. Right?
Where's that list? So on the back of that Hangover Steering Club
don't really
thing was
care.
chucked out the window.
I call a shit, and it's the way I'm always going to be. I'm never going to change. So if you don't like it, jog on, in my opinion. But there is certain things that I will say just to watch Natalie cringe a little bit, because she's like, oh. And that way you can just tell she's, every bone in her body's just going, oh no, didn't you just say that? And that's why I do it sometimes. So,
No, and that, do you know what? I love you for it.
so like,
I do love you for
off
it.
the back of that, right, the chat was then flowing into it, because
It
there was a
was
bit of
good.
banter. Lisa, I think Lisa helped that bit, because she was like, do you know what, like, never change, because that's it, I was cut from the same
Call a
cloth.
shit a shit.
Yeah, they're cut from the same
spade. A spade.
So then off the back of that, we were just adding more fireworks into it. And I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to put a video on ChatGPT asking, because everybody was going mental, right? Thinking, and I don't know how many times I said it, nothing changes for current clients, right? And I had to say it fucking umpteen times through message, through voice note, through videos and everything, and nobody was really getting it. Everybody was asking what changes, right? And I was like, fucking nothing changes, right?
Well, the check-in, but that's the only thing.
That's the only thing that changes, but that's what I was saying in every single video, every single voice note, every single message, right? That nothing changes for you guys, bar how you do check-ins and how we deliver that back. Nothing else changes. Doesn't matter who your fucking pal is, doesn't matter what group you get put in, doesn't matter who your name is, how long you've fucking been here, nothing, right? Who has the keys to the gym, nothing fucking matters, right? So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to jag this even more, and I just want to see Natalie curling up even more into a wee ball and like just being like, oh, just like, I wish the ground would just swallow me up. So I was like, going to put a video into ChatGPT. How do you say nothing changes bar this in every single language? And I put that in the group. And I could just tell, Natalie wasn't even weighing me at the time, but I could just tell she watched that video, she'd be like,
don't get me wrong. I love the banter. I do love it. But I also know there's other people that are like, that don't take it the same way.
yeah, there's probably a line. I don't have, the issue is I don't have a line. Like, people have a line that you shouldn't cross. I don't have that, and I don't care. I'll just keep going. And then again, if you don't like it,
But
the good news is you're probably not my coach.
That's what I was trying to say, is that I think that my whole life I've been conditioned. Maybe it's a female thing, maybe it's my upbringing, but I have just had always that tendency to want to please everybody and make sure everybody's happy and I think every business or every couple or every environment needs someone like that, and needs someone like you as well. But I was almost jealous that I couldn't just say it how it is without people taking it differently.
You're now in Glasgow and most people aren't fucking happy anyway. So you're never going to fucking really change that. So it doesn't really matter what you say.
How different is the cultures though from like Fife to Glasgow? It's so different, and I never noticed.
Well sheltered up that neck of the woods, man.
I've been here for how long? 10 years, but I still.
Everyone's sunflowers and fucking roses up that way, man.
It's not, I can assure you. It's just, it just sounds different.
So that was interesting.
But yeah, I love it, and I'm glad that you did it, and everybody took to it really well, and the clients just love this is that.
I always find these
open
things,
and transparency is important.
These things are always funny because I always put these things in the group, and I do think to myself, like, don't know how that's going to land, but again, I don't really give a shit how it lands, right? And that's just the way I am. But there's always like this wee brief moment, there's like almost like a pause.
Oh, it's quiet.
And it's like, oh shit.
Somebody
has to say something, and then somebody says something, and all of a sudden it's like,
that's right.
Cool. Don't worry about it.
We're all up for that.
We're all for that. We're all fucked. It's cool.
We're still going to be walking out that gym, actually hanging on a thread.
But yeah, there's always that like kind of wee stunned silence when we're like, oh fuck, did he just say that? And then there's this, that's normal.
It's fine, and I love it.
You don't change.
Good. Don't change.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm starving now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's so good. It's so exciting to be sharing that. Head to the website.
That's everything covered. That's hybrid covered. That's home life covered. Oh. No, HQ, and then home life was just about Harper. Harper going to school.
No, Harper's nursery. Well, yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah. Okay. I cried yesterday when I went to nursery to pick her up because they showed me her graduation picture.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's rough. It's like one of these things where like I said to the day even in the car driving to the nursery, and I was saying how Molly will eventually go up to Forest, like the Forest School, like the Golden Mild, the cabin as they call it, and Harper was kind of like, but that's my nursery. And I was like, yeah, but remember you went to school? And I think the realisation was starting to click in. It was like, wait a minute. And I was like, yeah, but Molly's going to go to that soon, like, and you'll go to school. And she was like, yeah, but that's my nursery. So Molly still has to go. Her whole thing was, no, she's in the baby room now. She was explaining everything. She was like, no, Daddy, she's in the baby room now. She then has to go to Pines first. Then she gets to go to my nursery. It doesn't just happen. And I was like, well, actually they said that she might be okay just to go. Yeah. And she was like, no, it's my nursery. So yeah.
I know.
But she is buzzing for it, and she's buzzing for it.
So the feedback that she got from nursery was that she looks after the younger kids.
Yeah. Loving, caring, fun, adventurous. It was just nice to see all these things in it. Yeah. Sometimes you think as a parent like we're doing the right things all the time, but yeah, you hear things like that and it's just like, you know,
funny.
She's got a heart of gold again. She was called for that. So
good friend. She's actually a leader.
Loves Disney.
Yeah,
standard.
She said to me today, she was buzzing because I put her hair in a like high ponytail today, and because of her curls, it goes like a little bun. And she's like, oh, I look like Belle today. And she's like, look at my curls, and she's like this, and she's like, Mom, I can't believe I look like Belle. And she's like, oh, she went, when I come home, I'm going to put the dress on. Oh my God, absolutely buzzing.
So that's the next step for us.
So she's
dealing with that.
So we've got graduation and Callan turning 1.
Yeah, he's turning 1.
He's turning 1 in Chicago.
Yep. Well, he'll be 1.
You would have been 1.
He'll be 1 minute.
Yeah, amazing.
So happy.
Yeah.
Too quick.
But they're just wonderful wee people, aren't they? They just keep us grounded. They literally teach me something new every day.
Yeah. And you know what I've just thought of, right? I'm all CDs now, like, going over time now.
What?
See that introduction? You didn't say what like episode it was. And it's now...
I did.
No,
I did.
I didn't think you did. And it's now driving the quality one.
What episode is it?
11. 11. It's actually, I had to get out of there. I just saw you there, I was like, she didn't see what episode this is.
I think I did.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you were more threatening.
A bit like doing that chat. I'm taking that wee string out of your bow. I'm gonna have a wee shot.
I don't do it to podcast listeners. They're nice people. That it? Wrap that one up.
Wrap it up.
Cut. Right, so as always, troops. As always, troops. Like, comment, share. If there's ever anything you want to know about, you want to dive in on even more, then obviously if there's a subject, topic you want us to talk about,
Send it over.
as long as it's not like how the fucking world started or something like that, something pure deep, but send it over and we'll...
Aldo actually said to me that he left, he knew someone who said to him, do you think the world is actually round?
Alright. Did you discuss that over breakfast, aye? Because I've not had mine.
But what I was actually going to say is,
Discuss that over your eggs.
we're really, really keen to get some cool
I know
interviews.
we want
people on,
put that in.
right, so we've got 2 things we've got to do, which we'll do after this, which is we need to book in all the clients that want to do the What Did You Die series.
Before they change their mind.
And we also are looking for people to come onto the podcast, to come and chat with us about any topics that might be really important to you or that you're interested in. So please send us any suggestions on someone that you think would be really good for the podcast, who wants to get involved.
And again, make it reasonable.
Make it
About sales.
I think we said that in the last one as well, but you know, anyone will do. Just give us your suggestions. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have a conversation about who would be great for the conversation here at Cassells, and we'll get them on board. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
As
so much
always,
for listening.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on episode 12.
Thanks. See you later. Let's wrap that.